Hello again, beautiful collective. I started one video and I thought it was going to go in one direction, and then my guides took me in a totally different direction, or not quite totally different, but a different tangent. So I wanted to come back again because nosy me wants to know what you guys are up to. Because the initial message that I got is that this collective is going out in the world and exposing themselves in a brand new way. And you have recently, or you're about to, debut some new part of yourself that you have not revealed before. And the image I had gotten was bare shoulders. I think that might be a perfume, as I said it out loud. So I don't know if somebody likes that perfume. But I also am seeing it as like exposed skin. Like it's where I live, spring is just beginning to blossom. So I think in a way it's about like blossoming, kind of like bursting open, but it's also making yourself a little bit vulnerable. And I had felt like a kind of shakiness or nervous excitement over this exposure. It's like you maybe, some of you are publishing something. Ooh, yes. Okay, here we go. We got the Hermit and the 10 of Cups. Oh, so beautiful, guys. So this is you coming out of hiding and bringing the light and wisdom that you have learned to the collective and radiating out and showing like what that happily ever after looks like. So this is like, people are going to be so blown away by what you have to share. I'm really getting like, I heard like quiet as a mouse, but then like bursting open. Like someone who was really introverted and quiet is like getting on a stage and just power belting. And just the people who have known you are just like jaws on the floor. Like, what? Who is collective? Who is this stunner? Who is this goddess who is suddenly on stage in the spotlight, radiating and just magnificent, and has this inner power that's bursting out? Like, who knew? Like, they didn't have any idea. And the fact is, you kept it hidden, and that's okay. You kept it hidden for good reasons. Some of you are still healing from an exposure wound, an exposure trauma, fear of being seen, or having been punished in the past for being seen, or having exposure, or being the center of attention, meaning criticism or judgment or gaslighting or shame. And you have done so much inner work to release those things. Well done. And now you are just like reinventing yourself. There are so many physical changes collective is going through. You're changing your hairstyle. You're getting new piercings. You're getting tattoos. You're dyeing your hair. You're like, some of you I'm hearing are getting like colored contact lenses. Like, you're making all kinds of fun changes that are just, there's a lot of fun to this. There's like a level of personality upgrades that are happening. And it's like, it's out of left field, but it's also not, because it's always been you. It's just like you're learning finally for the first time how you want the outer you to feel like a true expression of inner you. And this is so important because we have physical bodies, guys. The body is the temple, right? The body is also kind of the calling card. And it's no bad thing. We're just recognizing that there has been a discrepancy, a gap that we have been bridging between how we feel inside and how we want to teach and train the world to treat us. It's really important that you honor all of these changes that you have been making and the bravery you have been embracing in exposing this new side of yourself, because it takes a lot of guts, especially when some of the reactions are going to be people being like, oh, like, what the hell? Like, where did this come from? Why did you do that? And others are maybe less mean about it, but they're still shocked. because they just didn't expect this from you. And none of these reactions matter. In fact, like part of the service you're doing for humanity is triggering people to react to who you are now so that they can undergo their own karmic growth. So everything is blessed. Nothing is a mistake. Even your ugliest haters, let them hate, because maybe they need to hate so they can have that bubble to the surface. And God willing, if they're self-reflective people, they're going to start to, ask themselves, why am I so triggered by collective? Why did this upset me so much? Why am I so shocked? What in me didn't want them to be a certain way? Or what in me is maybe realizing I've held part of myself back, thinking I had to, without even questioning why I had to hold it back. So I'm hearing like, I'm coming out. Yeah. So this collective is just absolutely getting into the energy of fun and celebrating that you are just like out there now, and you are not going back. You couldn't if you tried to go back. Some of you have made a physical change that's impossible to go back from, to kind of gut yourself into sticking with your guns. And good for you. Good for fucking you, because you have made the choice that you are going to show up, and you are dedicated to showing up for yourself consistently and without hesitation, so that you are forcing yourself to stay in this new timeline. And honestly, you really couldn't go back to the old one, the old you. The frequencies changed. You have changed. The decisions are made. But the intent of that dedication to not go back is so important, because that intent is the frequency that's carrying you forward into the next stage of your evolution and development, which we will come to today. I didn't know we were going to come here, but we're here, and I'm hearing, yep, it's time. Tell them, baby. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to tell them? You tell me what to tell them. Okay, I will. They are saying that you are entering into the phase of life where you become a teacher. Whether or not you're in a traditional teaching profession, whatever you are doing is going to have massive educational benefit to the planet. And so you are developing now the sense of self and the ability to communicate outward everything you have learned. You are also teaching through doing and through showing. So by showing up as the new you, by singing your song, by giving your TED Talk, by publishing your research, by getting up on YouTube and filming yourself, you are showing the world one of the most fundamental lessons in education that this planet needs right now, which is that life can change through joy. In fact, life changes much more dramatically and much faster through joy than it ever can through conflict and resistance. This is so fundamentally important. I want you to imagine a world in which governments can't wage war on each other because they cannot amass the people to wage war on their behalf. Imagine a world where dictators are irrelevant because they have no power without control over a people who are willing to obey their commands. Imagine a world where each individual carries so much self-sovereignty, so much inner joy, and in doing so is able to care for themselves and the collective, and thus feels cared for in turn, who refuses to pick up the weapons of war, who refuses to engage in petty gossip and conflict, who refuses to be underhanded or devious because there's no need to. and they can't be controlled anymore. That is the basis of what this group, which I'm feeling called again to call Group 7, is undergoing right now for the planet. This is the new education that we are offering and encoding into the energetic field of the Earth grid. And it will subconsciously impact every individual, even those who do not interact with you directly, which is true of anyone, anywhere on this planet who is showing up in love, showing up in a high frequency, or even if showing up in conflict, allowing themselves to feel that emotion and then allowing it to dissolve back into love. So it's a really exciting time because you are part of something that has not existed in this form yet on this planet. Has it ever existed in this planet's past in some form? Yes, for sure. And in fact, this is part of the birth of a new golden age, which we can thank our ancestors because, in part, even though this new form is unique, it is calling back to ancestral DNA knowledge and like Akashic record or whatever you want to call it level of collective knowledge from previous golden ages in which we remembered this information. We remembered this self-sovereignty. So that is another thing. If you are feeling really drawn right now to read books, listen to music, watch videos about ancient cultures, ancient music, ancient prayers, that's not coincidental. That's knowledge reaching through time from ancestor wisdom, ancestor gifts that is here for you to I'm just like feeling a little tearful. It's just, you have so much support right now in what you are doing. And there's so much excitement from your guides, ancestors, angels, all forms of divinely guided heavenly beings of, any background you align with, who are eager to help you and be of service to you because you are being of service to humanity. Anything you need, ask. And you know what to do, right? Ask and it is given. Ask and step back and then wait for the sign, the guidance for the next move. Because you already know how to let go of the outcome. You already know that as soon as your desire is spoken, it is coming back to you 100-fold in the best possible form, better than you could ever even picture. You know this. So I'm not worried about that. I know you're not either. But I am very, very excited to hear what's coming next for you. And if this resonates, thank you for being here. Please like, share, subscribe to help get this boosted to more viewers who are needing this message and align with it. I always love to hear what's going on in your life. If this does resonate in particular, what areas you're growing in, sharing in. And yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.